Hello and welcome to EV Review Ireland. My name is Derek Riley and today we're going to be looking at the best-selling electric car in Ireland, the Nissan LEAF. And specifically this is the 62 kilowatt hour battery one, and so let's get started. This is the interior cabin of the Nissan LEAF, and we have the touchscreen at the top, apologies for the smudges, and lots of other stuff underneath as well. So let's go through each section to show you what bits and pieces you get with the Nissan LEAF. So underneath the touchscreen you've got your climate control and your then heated seats underneath that with your 12 volt and your USB start stop button, your mode indicator, and then two interesting buttons. One is the e-pedal button to allow you to do one pedal driving, and the other is the eco button. You also have plenty of options for cup and water bottle holders beside the electric handbrake and also in the door. On the driver's binnacle you've got a screen on the left and an analog speedometer on the right. The steering wheel on the left hand side is predominantly audio, and on the right hand side then you are going to be getting your driver assist, and that blue button there is the Pro Pilot, and I'll talk about that later on. This is the SVE model, comes with a Bose 7-speaker system, and this is the energy efficient series, very important for an electric car. This is the rear of the Nissan LEAF, and I'm 6'2", plenty of headroom in it, also plenty of leg room. Because of the battery pack on the bottom of the actual car, it does sit a lot higher. So you are, and I've noticed that with even at the driving side of the vehicle, that you're feeling like you're nearly like SUV height, but obviously it's not an SUV. But the width and the size of the battery, it's a bigger battery. So compared again, generation 1 or even the 40 kilowatt hour, the suspension is a bit higher or harder. But plenty of space at the front, in front of my knees. How long you'd sit like this in this position, I think it's fine. But the fact that there's headroom and there's leg room, can't ask for much more than that. In the rear you've got two ISOFIX positions, left passenger and right passenger rear. You also have a central seat. Would you fit an adult in it? I'm not sure how much you would, but there is a 3-point seat in it. You've got your side or back pockets behind the seats, big water bottle. Yeah, good quality. This is the top of the range spec, so it is leather. Behind my own driving position, not as much space. I probably could move forward a bit more, but obviously same headroom. Yeah, it's a nice. In the back also you have heated electric seats on this model, a single switch that covers all of the rear bench. Let's have a look in the boot. Capacity in the new LEAF is 435 litres, so good size, and it's a winner with taxi drivers, etc. This is the SVE model, so starting price is at 40,500 euros, and you get the Bose sound system with that and the subwoofer in the boot. Rear seats fold down as well, so you get a bit of extra space. By no means flat, but every little helps. Because of the battery pack on the bottom of the Nissan LEAF is a larger unit now with the 62 kilowatt, it is sitting up a bit higher. The suspension is also a bit firmer. It's an unusual kind of seating position. I'm trying to put my seat down. It's not that I haven't enough headroom while I'm driving, it's just I feel I'm higher up for some reason. Maybe it's my height, but it's not a bad seating position. You definitely get used to it. I really like the Nissan LEAF. So let's get it out on the road and I can talk about how it drives and the different features that it has on board as well. So let's take it out on the road. The Nissan LEAF celebrates its 10th anniversary this year in 2020 after being launched in 2010. It really was a game changer. It's the first time a mass manufactured EV took the world by storm. Nearly 500,000 of them were sold. They were the predominant reason a lot of people got into full battery electric vehicles. And that's a huge thing to say for Nissan. They may have lost their ways as of recently and not kept up with the competition, and everybody wants a Tesla or the new bells and whistles. But this car, it's hard beaten. It's got Pro Pilot, it's got lots of bells and whistles. I really can't fault a lot of the Nissan LEAF. Is it the most efficient with its battery? No. Could it be less expensive? Yes. Again, we're talking about battery electric vehicles, so they are a bit more expensive, and sometimes a lot more expensive than their internal combustion engine counterparts. But this one was doing it before anybody else was even thinking about doing it. And to have that vision as a company, for Nissan to have that vision as a company, and in my opinion, that is why they're still the best-selling electric vehicle in Ireland, and have been for the last couple of years, because people see them on the road. There's a dealer network there that understands how to maintain them and fix them. There's a lot to be said for Nissan LEAFs. They may not be your cup of tea. You may like the Kia, you may like the Hyundai, and they have a place as well. But for this form factor and this size battery, especially the 62 kilowatt hour, because when I reviewed this in February 19, and I have a soft spot for Nissan LEAFs, because Nissan was the first company that allowed me to review their electric car. They took the chance on me, and it's worked out great so far, so I do appreciate that from them. But they are the ones that made a ground up electric vehicle. What we're going to do now is we're going to take it on the motorway. Some people have asked, what's it like at motorway speeds? Any electric vehicle, motorways are not their friend, and a higher speed means you're going at a faster pace and you're using more energy. So it's not that EVs aren't for motorways, it's how you drive. If you keep it 95 kilometers an hour, 100 kilometers an hour, you'll be okay. The battery will go down, yes, absolutely, and it's not regenerating because it's not starting like city driving. But on the motorway, it'll hold up with the rest of them. So yeah, let's take it on the motorway and see what it's like. The irony, on the motorway, people want to see motorway speeds. M50 northbound, chock-a-block. Now, still going at 70 kilometers an hour, Nissan LEAF, perfect for this. Let's take out the next exit and come back down where I can see that there's a bit of space and see if we can get it up to 120 kilometers an hour. Nissan LEAF also has a lot of driver assist, and they call them the Pro Pilot system. It's a little blue button on the steering wheel. So with the Pro Pilot system, you get lane assist. So it'll light up 2 green lines on the center console and show you that you're between, and it'll drive or keep in lane. It also has adaptive cruise control, so you can see that there's a car in front of you, and it'll stick with that car at whatever speed that car is at, whether it is, as long as it's below your, when it's below your speed, it'll keep a certain distance as well, and you can set that on the car. It also has auto parking, where it'll actually steer the steering wheel for you and recognize spaces. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff on the Nissan LEAF with the Pro Pilot system. Okay, we're heading southbound on the M50 now, where there isn't as much traffic, and I can see that the speed limit is 120 kilometers per hour, and let's see how we get on. So pick up on the actual acceleration. I really like it. I like the feel of the Nissan LEAF. It is not the fastest electric vehicle out there, but it has that instant torque like all electric vehicles have. So let's see what we can do out and about. Yeah, it's nice to drive. It's weighted, it's sturdy. The suspension isn't. It also has blind spot warning, which I really, really like in the cars. I think it's going to become mandatory across the European Union, any new cars sold. I've been in firmer electric vehicles with regards to suspension with this size battery, but I like the feel of it. One thing that I don't like about the Nissan LEAF is the lack of adjustability for the steering wheel. I've talked about this in my written reviews. I'm actually going to link both the written reviews in this description so that you can see my thoughts on the 40 kilowatt hour from 2019 and then my review from earlier this year in 2020. If you like what you're seeing on this channel at the moment, and I know I've only got a couple of videos out, but hopefully you're fans of the quality, please subscribe to the channel and like, and also comment and let me know your feedback I'd love to hear it. Also today we met up with Blake from EV Life Ireland, and Blake has a 2015 or 16 older 30 kilowatt, I think it is, Nissan LEAF, and it was great to have that comparison. So we met up in Carrickmines, and we actually went up to into the Wicklow Mountains, where we went to the source of the Liffey. And my point to Blake at the time, I'm not sure if we covered it in that video, but just my own analogy of the Liffey and the starting point of a Liffey, which is really a muddy hole in a bog up on a mountain. But when you can see what it turns into at the bottom as it majestically flows through Dublin city, it is very similar to the journey of the LEAF itself. And starting off in 2010, really it was not aspirational is the wrong word, sorry. It was you were a hippie, you were an eco-warrior. Why would you be buying a Nissan LEAF? And a lot of celebrities had them at the time. I remember reading about the likes of the George Clooney's and the Leonardo DiCaprio's had Nissan LEAFs. And a lot of the petrol heads were, oh, not a Nissan LEAF. What kind of an eco-warrior are you? But a lot of those petrol heads now are realizing the benefits of electric vehicles and having electric vehicles as part of your daily driving, whether it's a daily commuting into town or out of city or whatever it may be. But there's a place for electric vehicles, and to see the transition in these motoring journalists realizing, oh, I poo-pooed electric vehicles at the time, but they're going to be the norm with low emission zones in cities, but just air quality, the environmental impact. Now, an electric vehicle is by no means the best thing for the environment. There is a hierarchy there. You are talking the best thing for the environment is you don't buy a car at all. You walk, you cycle, you use public transport. That's not an option. And I come from the west of Ireland, and where I live, there is one bus out in the morning, 9 o'clock, just before 9 o'clock, and that bus comes back again that evening at 7 o'clock in the day. So if you're commuting, you're stuck to that. It's different to the cities where you actually have a regular public transport system choices. And I'm lucky enough to live in Dublin, and I have a choice of whether I take the bus, whether I take the largest electric vehicle in Dublin, the Dart. It is easier when you are living in an urban area, but the west of Ireland, it's not easy. So on the hierarchy of things, if you were to buy a car and needed a car, an electric car is the way to go. And with this being the best-selling electric car in Ireland, there's a lot to be said for it. It is a well-built car. Some people talk about the quality of the fixture and fittings. Not a lot has changed in this car from Gen 1. You're going to be talking about the exact same gear, not the exact same, similar, very similar gear selector. But when I wrote this review, the written review on this car, somebody mentioned the fact that the light, the main light in the roof, looks like something out of a 1980s or 1990s Lada. Nothing against Ladas, they got the job done, and it was not a Mercedes or a Lamborghini, but we have to remember that a vehicle is just that. It gets you from A to B. How much you spend on it is down to you, and the functionality will usually depend on the actual spend as well. One of my favorite parts about the Nissan LEAF is the e-pedal. So with the Nissan LEAF, you have two-stage regenerative braking. With the gear selector, mode selector, you have your reverse, neutral, and then drive, and then the B for the second stage regenerative brake. You also have a pedal for eco, which will start cutting down on aircon and anything that it feels you can do without if you want to eke out some more kilometers out of your battery. But beside that, you've got the e-pedal switch. And with the e-pedal switch, it allows you to do one pedal driving. I love this. I think it's a phenomenal piece of technology for using around town. And once you get used to it, and then you go into something that doesn't have one pedal driving, you immediately start to, I'm moving my feet from accelerator to brake to accelerator to brake, whereas with the e-pedal, it's you take off your foot off the accelerator, the car will come to a complete stop. And you press the accelerator and the car will gently pull away. Why all electric vehicles don't have this is beyond me. It is amazing. One pedal driving is the way of the future, in my opinion. I think a lot of cars, and I think Nissan are ahead of the game on this. So I'm looking forward to seeing this rolling out on a lot more electric vehicles. And I'm sure there are, and I'm looking forward to testing them. So the car that I have for the week from Nissan Ireland is this two-tone white body with metallic blue roof, and I'm torn whether I like it or not. It is, I've never seen one on the road, and being into electric vehicles, I spot electric vehicles around all the time, but I've never seen this colour combination, and I kind of didn't really remember that Nissan did a two-tone kind of colour situation. A lot of vehicles do it now, but I'm interested to see more of these on the road. It makes the monotonous of cars something different, and having them I think the two-tone thing is, a lot of manufacturers do it now, not just electric vehicle manufacturers. But yeah, don't know whether I like it or not. I definitely don't hate it. It's growing on me. What I really, really like is this effect on the front grille. I'm not sure what it's for, but it's like a prismatic effect. I really like it. When you're buying a Nissan LEAF, one thing that you do need to remember is there are the charging situation. So with the charging situation, you are looking at, because it's a Japanese brand, Nissan have gone with the CHAdeMO system, which is obviously different to the CCS system, and the plug adapter plugs, not socket, but the connector is the word I'm looking for. The plug connector is a totally different connector to the CCS, which has AC and DC built into it. CHAdeMO has AC and DC. Sorry, CHAdeMO is DC, and so on the front of the Nissan LEAF is actually two charging points or ports, whereas on the combined system, the CCS, you have one AC at the top, and that will take a standard charger. So something you might have like a wall box or the ESB 22 kilowatt system. Then underneath it you have the two bits that make it a larger plug, and that will take the DC then, so it's a bit of a heavier punch. Obviously takes charge faster as well. With Nissan it is CHAdeMO, so it's a circular system. I'll show you a close-up of the actual port. So we need to remember that when you are purchasing a LEAF. Now with so many LEAFs on the road, and not just passenger LEAFs but also commercial, they have the ENV200 van, and there's lots of them being sold to local authorities at the moment and to regular tradespeople. There's no fear that you're going to not be able to get a charge, especially on the ESB network. Now Ionity have no interest in CHAdeMO, so they are only doing CCS. You also need to make sure that the capability of what's around you, you can charge if you want to charge fast charge. Now, if you are able to charge at home with your regular AC charger, there'll be no problem. It's only when you want that fast charge, if you're doing a long route, motorway miles, whatever it may be. So just remember that's a decision that you need to make. The Nissan LEAF had it all of its own way for a long time, but now it's a lot of competition with the likes of the Hyundai Kona or the Kia e-Niro, even the Renault Zoe, and the Renault Zoe is over 10,000 euros less expensive. Not as big a car, don't get me wrong, but like 50 odd kilowatt hour battery. So probably best to put it up against the likes of the Kia e-Niro and the Hyundai Kona. Which do I prefer? Oh, sorry, you've got the Kia e-Soul as well. So that size, that price, Kia is a well-built car. It has a lot of features in it. That's not to say that the Hyundai or the Kias don't either. It's all down to personal preference. Do you like the shape? Do you like the driving position? Have you taken it for a test drive? Is the fact that the LEAF is still the best-selling electric vehicle in Ireland due to the fact that it was just easier available? People didn't have to wait for the Kona or the e-Niro. Time will tell. The LEAF, its crown as Ireland's best-selling electric vehicle, started to get a bit shaky last year when we had the Hyundai Kona breathing down its neck and the Kia e-Niro. And then supply dried up and the LEAF was able to take back that crown again, and overall it was the best-selling electric car in 2019. But in 2020, and I'm filming this in July, already Tesla Model 3 is only within a couple of dozens away from being the best-selling electric vehicle and beating the Nissan LEAF. A car that is 30,000 euros more expensive. That just shows you where the appetite for electric vehicles is coming from. People that maybe are earning a bit more money, people that are potentially were deciding between a BMW 3 Series or a C-Class Mercedes or a Lexus, are now picking that Tesla Model 3. So it's not that Tesla are taking market share from Nissan. We all know that. It's that the market is opening up for potential EV drivers, and people that were going to go for a traditional internal combustion engine are now have the ability to pick a premium electric vehicle. Hope you enjoyed the video today. As I mentioned already, if you can subscribe to the channel, it shows me that there's an appetite for me to generate more content, specifically electric vehicle content. I will be reviewing everything from electric bicycles, kick scooters, mopeds, electric scooters, cars, vans, so the full range of electric vehicles that are on sale in Ireland. I'm really excited about the channel, as I've said already. It's a passion project for myself, so if you can give me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you think an EV is for you, leave it to me and I'll review. Thanks for watching.